There are good weeks in sim racing and then there are bad weeks. Last week for me was fantastic, but this week, well, you're about to see just how bad this week ended up. I'm back in Le Mans Ultimate, where I was hoping to build on a really encouraging performance in the GT3 last time out at Spa. And I've got good reason to be optimistic at Le Mans today. It's a track that always guarantees a broad range of qualifying lap times, but I've put myself in a really strong position with a time of 4:06.9 and P7 on the grid. Sadly though, that pre-race feeling of optimism did not hang around for long. This one is going to get really messy, really fast, and even more crucially, this is my one opportunity to race this week. There's no second chance to try again if it goes wrong, and boy, did this one go wrong.
Green flag, green flag.
And it's blast off. The lights are green and we are underway. 13.6 kilometres, 38 turns. There is an awful lot that can go wrong on one lap of this Le Mans 24-hour circuit. And the first of many dangers is fast approaching as we come through the Dunlop curve for the first time. This Dunlop chicane can get very tight. Look how close it is on the radar. We've lost at least two drivers right behind me there and a third. Sven de Haas in the Corvette spinning out. It looked like de Haas had his nose wiped by the other Corvette of Brian Shear right in front of him. Shear has managed to stay on track. He's in P8 right in front of me. That means I'm down to P9. I've dropped 2 places from my starting position. But I'm certainly not too disappointed about that, particularly given just how chaotic it was through that first section. So yeah, the goal here on this opening lap is all about survival. I don't mind if I drop a few positions as long as I keep myself safe, avoid picking up any damage and stay in contention. And there's a McLaren in the rearview mirror that's looking like it means business. That is Dylan LC. And he'll have picked up a load of extra speed using the toe down this Mulsanne straight, so he is certainly sizing up a move as we approach this first chicane. It's a really heavy braking zone here and a lot can go wrong through this chicane on the first lap, so I'm just going to back off. It looks like a lot has gone wrong. Big crash ahead, immediately I lift, but then I got rammed from behind. That pushes me into the stricken BMW, a double hit. Well, that is exactly the reason why I'm trying to play it safe on this opening lap. I'm bound to have picked up both front and rear end damage, but thankfully it doesn't feel too bad. Oh no, but look in the rearview mirror. I get the feeling I'm being hunted here. They are 3 wide behind me as we approach this second heavy braking zone. Hugo Merceron in the McLaren is alongside me. Several more are coming, but once again my main aim here is just to stay safe. Oh, and there's a red McLaren who came flying up the inside of everyone. He's hit Merceron. Merceron's lost control right in front of me. Somehow I managed to react in the nick of time and not plough into him. Dear me, I am trying my very best to stay safe here, but at the moment I'm riding my luck big time. Vladislav Pashin it was in the red McLaren who came barreling down the inside. I'm amazed he didn't take more people out actually. No way of getting that McLaren stopped. Pashin ended up tagging the rear of Merceron and spinning Merceron around right in front of me. But despite all of that, I fortunately managed to avoid any further contact, so I'm still in this thing. I'm still in P9. A bit of a gap has opened up to the cars in front. Meanwhile, behind it looks like I've got a Ferrari for company now. That is Antonio Villas. Now, I suspect he is going to use the toe as we come down this long back straight to Indianapolis. So once again, if he's going to try a lunge, I will be happy just to give him the room and let him make the pass at this stage. This first lap has been carnage. We've seen catastrophe at pretty much every corner so far. I don't want to see any more here, so I will leave the space. Oh, but Villas has come right across track. I've been forced off and lost control, and now I've slid right into the BMW. That is David Brinkman who was behind the pair of us. Brinkman had nowhere to go. What a disaster. Right, we need to analyse this incident again, because after studying it in depth, there's only one person I'm annoyed at, and it's not Villas in the Ferrari, it's me. I didn't do myself any favours here. But first, the incident. Villas has taken the inside line into the corner, so really, he should have left room for me on the outside when exiting the corner. He didn't though. He's carrying too much speed, and his momentum carries him across my path. Let's watch again from his onboard. He's picked up a big toe and now he's considering that move up the inside. The chances of success though are slim because the very next turn is a sharp left-hander, but he's going for it. His speed and that inside curb cause him to drift right across the track and into me. He's almost out of control here, but that might have been caused by the contact. So why am I blaming myself? Well, it's simple. I should have left more space. There's a big white line down the middle of the track. If I'd stayed to the left of that line, I'd have given myself far more room to avoid the contact. As it was, I turned in really tight, leaving Villas a car's width and no more. Once I'd left that gap open, I really should have left more margin for error. Let's take one final look from Bringman's on board, and we can see just how tightly I squeezed Villas there. And after that, I'm just a passenger. Despite holding the brakes, I slide back across track and smash Bringman out of the race. Yeah, I feel so sorry for David Bringman here. He did try and get going again, but as I get back on track, look, there's his BMW. He was too badly damaged to continue. Bringman's race ruined. My McLaren, though, while damaged, is still drivable. However, I am well down on speed and handling. I find myself down in P18, the last driver out on track. Effectively, it's race over. So it gives us a chance to have a look at some of the other carnage on this absolutely mad opening lap. First, we see the Ferrari of Vivian Blin getting spun around following contact from Cameron Cross behind. Now, Cross tried to keep going, but he also spins out after being sideswiped by another car. Then at the top of the hill, we see Sven de Haas tagging the car in front of him and losing the front. First chicane then, the red BMW is Mike Masala. He runs in a little bit too hot, but in trying to rejoin the track, he tags the rear of the BMW in front of him, Robert Rosansky. Rosansky spins right across track and is then clobbered by several cars, including me. Right, now watch the red McLaren to the right of the screen. That's Vladislav Pashin, and he just can't get it stopped. He's braked too late. He takes out Hugo Merceron on the way, and Merceron spins right across track in front of me. Somehow I miss him, but other cars aren't so lucky. So yeah, as I limp through the rest of this first lap in my battered and bruised McLaren, I'm down in P18 and I'm relying on freebies. The first of them I'm going to get as I cross the start-finish line. Merceron is in the pits getting repairs after that chicane incident we just saw the replay of. Meanwhile ahead, we're watching the battle for P15 on the TV cam. Here's Cameron Koss chasing Brian Shear, but Koss is just going to push a little bit too hard coming out of the chicane, loses the rear and ends up in the gravel trap. So that is another position gain for me. I now find myself up into P16. But as I said just a moment ago, I'm so down on pace here. My only hope is to rely on freebies. And before the race ended, I did manage to get one more. And it's actually a very similar Indianapolis incident to my one on lap 1. This time, though, it's the driver on the inside who comes off worse. Matt Dubois in that red McLaren getting forced into the barrier after contact with Maz Corso in the BMW. Corso taking an eerily similar line through Indianapolis that I did. So yeah, not a great race at all for me, this one. Unfortunately, it's my only chance to race this week, so I can't come back and try it again. Instead, all I can do is learn from the incident and make sure I don't make the same mistake again. And for me, that's the key to improving as a sim racer. If ever I'm involved in an incident like this, I try not to get angry with anyone else. I just look to see what I could have done differently. And with this particular incident at Indianapolis on lap 1, I absolutely should have left more space. As soon as I opened up that gap and let Villas know that I wasn't going to defend the corner, I really should have made far more use of all that space to my left. I mean, I could have left Villas 2 full car widths to my inside and still made the corner myself, but as it was, I left him the bare minimum. There was no margin for error, and when that error came, I had no way of avoiding it. Thank you ever so much for watching. Hopefully, I'll fare better when I get back on track next week.